started with a trail run. Lucas had always jogged the old pine brush trail behind his neighborhood. A quiet place, isolated, the kind of forest where even your footsteps felt muffled. He liked that. It helped him think. But 3 weeks ago, something shifted. The first time, it was barely anything. Just the feeling of eyes. The kind that prick your skin like heat on the back of your neck. He paused, looked over his shoulder. Nothing. Pines stretched endlessly, still hollow. He blamed it on too much caffeine. The second time, it was unmistakable. A man, far off between the trunks, unmoving, too far to see clearly, but he wasn't walking. He was watching. Lucas kept running, told himself it was another hiker. But each time he returned, the man was there again, always in the distance, always just standing. No gear, no expression, just facing him. On the 5th visit, Lucas brought his phone, zoomed in. The image froze his blood. The man's eyes were wide open. His mouth stretched unnaturally, locked in a silent scream. Like a mask carved from terror, frozen in a way no human should be. Lucas stopped going, but the forest didn't stop coming. One morning, he found pine needles in his hallway. Another night, he woke to scratching behind his bedroom wall, not mice, but dragging. Then came the knocking, rhythmic, measured from the back door. Always 3 knocks, never more. He checked the cameras. Nothing there, just trees. But those trees, they weren't part of his yard. Then he saw him, standing beneath the porch light. The man from the woods, drenched in shadow, head tilted too far, still screaming. Lucas called the police, but when they came, the backyard was gone, replaced with rows of tall pines, and they never found Lucas. But sometimes, runners on Pine Brush Trail say they feel watched, and if they turn fast enough, they swear they see someone standing in the trees, with a face stretched wide in soundless terror, as if warning the next runner not to look too long. Story 2. Nina's car died on the worst possible stretch of road, 30 miles deep into Black Hollow Forest, with no cell signal, no nearby outposts, and the sun already slipping behind the canopy. She had followed GPS directions to a so-called scenic loop, but ended up somewhere that didn't match any reviews. Not even the offline map apps could find her exact location. The trees were too dense, the quiet too deep. She grabbed her pack and flashlight and followed the trail upward, hopping to catch a glimpse of a ranger tower or a fire road. Instead, she found a cabin. It was perched off a slope, tucked behind gnarled pines. The porch still had 2 glass lanterns hanging, faintly swaying, though there wasn't any wind. The structure looked old, but not abandoned. Not entirely. Inside, it smelled of cedar and mold, like something had been preserved, but not well. A table, a chair, an old iron stove, and on the table, a leather-bound journal with just one phrase repeated over and over. Don't let them knock. The handwriting became more frantic with each page. Scratchier, sloppier. Toward the back, pages were torn out. Burn marks curled the corners. Nina flipped through as the light faded, trying to understand what they meant. That night they came. First silence, then a knock. 3 raps, slow, measured. Then again, but on the opposite wall. Nina held her breath. The cabin didn't creak. The door didn't budge. The knocking moved around the walls. Then the floorboards beneath her began to flex. Something was crawling, not rats, bigger. She didn't sleep, just waited. At dawn, she opened the door to run, but the trail was gone. The slope different. The trees weren't the same. It was the same forest, but wrong. She hiked all day and looped back to the cabin, like it moved with her. That night, they knocked again, but not from the outside. This time, the knocking came from inside the walls. Story 3. Aaron and Daniel thought it would be a wholesome weekend. Just them and their 4-year-old daughter, Leela, away from screens, under the stars. They set up camp deep in Ashfern Woods, the kind of place where the trails go quiet by sunset and the trees lean just a little too close. The first 2 days were peaceful. S'mores, bug spray, crickets. But then Leela started waving, always at the same patch of trees, just beyond their campsite. No one there, no animals, no sounds, just her smiling and waving. "Who are you waving at, sweetheart?" Aaron asked. Leela didn't hesitate. "Mara, she lives in the woods. She said I'm fun." They brushed it off. Kid imagination, forest magic. But that night, Aaron woke to find the tent flap open and Leela gone. She panicked, called, screamed, searched with a flashlight. They found her standing barefoot at the tree line, whispering something to the dark. The next day, Leela kept drawing in the dirt. Circles, trees, and always a second girl with long black hair holding her hand. That evening, Aaron did some digging with spotty signal. Mara Hartley, age 5, vanished during a family camping trip, same forest, same site, in 1993. All they ever found was her red jacket, hanging 15 feet up a tree. That night, Leela wouldn't sleep. She said Mara wanted her to stay and play forever, that she was lonely. In the morning, Leela was gone again. Her shoes were neatly placed by the tent zipper. A muddy handprint, too big for a child, smeared across the inside wall. They searched for hours, days. Authorities found nothing, just a red jacket hanging high in a tree. And when Aaron looked up, she swore she saw a little girl standing among the branches, waving down at her daughter, waving goodbye